Question 1. Which Roman emperor led the invasion of Britain in AD 43? A. Claudius, B. Nero, C. Hadrian, D. Augustus. Answers is A. Claudius. Emperor Claudius launched the Roman invasion of Britain in AD 43, leading to its incorporation into the Roman Empire. Question 2. What was the name of the Roman wall built to protect Roman Britain from Scottish tribes? A. Hadrian's Wall, B. Antonine Wall, C. Wall, D. Caesar's Wall. Answers is A. Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was built to guard the northern frontier of Roman Britain from tribes like the Picts. Question 3. Which groups invaded Britain after the Romans left in AD 410? A. Anglo-Saxons, B. Franks, C. Goths, D. Huns. Answers is A. Anglo-Saxons. After the Roman departure, Britain was invaded by tribes from mainland Europe, primarily the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, collectively known as Anglo-Saxons. Question 4. What name was given to the Viking settlers who raided and settled in parts of eastern England? A. Danelaw, B. Wessex, C. Mercia, D. Northumbria. Answers is A. Danelaw. The Danelaw was a region in eastern England under Viking Danish administrative control during the And. Question 5. Which king united the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of England and defeated the Vikings in the century? A. Alfred the Great, B. King Canute, C. Edward the Confessor, D. Athelstan. Answers is A. Alfred the Great. Alfred the Great was the king of Wessex, who successfully defended his kingdom against Viking attempts at conquest and became the dominant ruler in England. Question 6. Who invaded England in 1066, leading to the Battle of Hastings? A. William the Conqueror, B. C. King, D. Richard the Lionheart. Answers is A. William the Conqueror. William, Duke of Normandy, invaded England and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, becoming William I of England. Question 7. What was the Domesday Book? A survey of land and property, B. A religious text, C. A collection of laws, D. A book of heraldry. Answers is A survey of land and property. The Domesday Book was a comprehensive record of the ownership and value of land in England and parts of Wales, commissioned by William I in 1085. Question 8. What document signed in 1215 limited the power of the monarch for the first time? A. Magna, B. Bill of Rights, C. Corpus, D. Petition of Right. Answers is A. Magna. Magna was a royal charter of rights agreed to by King John of England at Runnymede near Windsor on 15 June 1215. It established that everyone, including the king, was subject to the law. Question 9. Which war lasting over a century was fought between England and France? A. The 100 Years' War, B. The War of the Roses, C. The Anglo-French War, D. The Wars. Answers is A. The 100 Years' War. The 100 Years' War was a series of conflicts waged from 1337 to 1453, between the House of Plantagenet, England, and the House of Valois, France, over the succession to the French throne. Question 10. What was the name of the plague that swept through Europe and Britain in the century? A. The Black Death, B. The Great Plague, C. The Red Death, D. The Bubonic Plague. Answers is A. The Black Death. The Black Death was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia and North Africa, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351. Question 11. Which two royal houses fought in the Wars of the Roses? A. Lancaster and York, B. Tudor and Stuart, C. Plantagenet and Tudor, D. Windsor and Hanover. Answers is A. Lancaster and York. The Wars of the Roses were a series of civil wars fought over control of the English throne between the House of Lancaster, Red Rose, and the House of York, White Rose, during the century. Question 12. Who was the first Tudor monarch of England? A. Henry, B. Henry, C. Elizabeth, I. D. Richard. Answers is A. Henry. Henry seized the throne in 1485, defeating Richard at the Battle of Field, ending the Wars of the Roses and establishing the Tudor dynasty. Question 13. Which king the Church of England separating from the Roman Catholic Church? A. Henry, B. Edward, C. James, I. D. Charles, I. Answers is A. Henry. Henry broke away from papal authority due to his desire for an annulment of his marriage to of Aragon, establishing the Church of England with himself as its head. Question 14. Who was the last Tudor monarch famous for defeating the Spanish Armada? A. Elizabeth, I. B. Mary, I. C. Edward, D. James, I. Answers is A. Elizabeth, I. Elizabeth, I, daughter of Henry and Anne, reigned from 1558 to 1603. Her reign saw a flourishing of English culture and the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Question 15. Which monarch united the crowns of Scotland and England in 1603, becoming the first Stuart king? A. James, I. B. Charles, I. C. James, D. William. Answers is A. James, I. James of Scotland inherited the English throne upon Elizabeth I's death in 1603, becoming James I of England and uniting the two crowns under one monarch. Question 16. What was the cause of the English Civil War in the century? A. Conflict between king and parliament, B. Religious differences with Ireland, C. Disputes over trade routes, D. A war of succession. Answers is A. Conflict between king and parliament. The English Civil War was fought between parliamentarians, Roundheads, and Cavaliers over governance, religion, and the extent of royal power. Question 17. Who led the parliamentarian forces during the English Civil War? A. Oliver, B. Duke of Marlborough, C. Sir Francis Drake, D. Lord Nelson. Answers is A. Oliver. Oliver was a military and political leader who served as Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland from 1653 to 1658. Question 18. What event led to the establishment of a republic in England after the Civil War? A. Execution of Charles I. B. Battle of C. Glorious Revolution. D. Restoration of the monarchy. Answers is A. Execution of Charles I. King Charles I was in 1649, leading to the abolition of the monarchy and the establishment of the Commonwealth of England, a republic. Question 19. When was the monarchy in England following the period of the Commonwealth? A. 1660, B. 1688, C. 1649, D. 1707. Answers is A. 1660. The monarchy was in 1660 with the return of Charles, son of the Charles I, from exile. Question 20. What major disaster struck London in 1666? A. The Great Fire of London, B. The Great Storm, C. A major flood, D. A large-scale invasion. Answers is A. The Great Fire of London. The Great Fire of London the city in 1666, destroying thousands of homes and cathedral. It followed the Great Plague of London in 1665. Question 21. What was the Glorious Revolution of 1688? A. The overthrow of King James, B. A major victory in war, C. A period of great scientific discovery, D. The establishment of a new dynasty. Answers is A. The overthrow of King James. The Glorious Revolution saw the deposition of King James and the ascension of William and Mary, establishing parliamentary supremacy and the Bill of Rights. Question 22. Which act formally united the kingdoms of England and Scotland into Great Britain in 1707? A. Acts of Union, B. Treaty of Edinburgh, C. Act of Settlement, D. Magna. Answers is A. Acts of Union. The Acts of Union 1707 were a pair of parliamentary acts passed by the Parliament of England and the Parliament of Scotland, uniting the two kingdoms into the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 23. What transformation began in Britain during the century involving new machinery and factories? A. The Industrial Revolution, B. The Agricultural Revolution, C. The Scientific Revolution, D. The Glorious Revolution. Answers is A. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was a period of major industrialization and innovation that began in Great Britain and spread throughout the world. Question 24. Who invented the spinning jenny, a key machine in the textile industry? A. James, B. Richard, C. James Watt, D. George. Answers is A. James. James invented the spinning jenny in 1764, an important early machine in the Industrial Revolution that dramatically increased cotton production. Question 25. Which engineer is famous for developing the steam locomotive, the rocket? A. George, B. Kingdom, C. Richard, D. James Watt. Answers is A. George. George, often called the father of, built the first public railway line in the world to use steam locomotives, and the rocket was a key early locomotive. Question 26. Which British admiral defeated Napoleon's fleet at the Battle of in 1805? A. Nelson, B. Duke of Wellington, C. Sir Francis Drake, D. Captain Cook. Answer is A. Nelson. Admiral Lord Nelson famously led the British fleet to victory against the combined French and Spanish at the Battle of, though he was fatally wounded during the battle. Question 27. Which British general defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815? A. Duke of Wellington, B. Nelson, C. Lord Raglan, D. Robert Clive. Answer is A. Duke of Wellington. Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington, commanded the British and Allied forces that defeated Napoleon Bonaparte at the Battle of Waterloo, ending his reign. Question 28. Which monarch had the longest reign in British history until surpassed by Elizabeth? A. Queen Victoria, B. George, C. Edward, D. Elizabeth I. Answer is A. Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria reigned for 63 years, from 1837 to 1901, a period known as the Victorian era, by industrial, cultural, political, scientific and military change. Question 29. When did women in the gain the right to vote on the same terms as men? A. 1928, B. 1918, C. 1900, D. 1945. Answers is A. 1928. The Representation of the People Act 1928 granted women aged 21 and over the right to vote on the same terms as men. Women over 30 with certain property qualifications had gained the vote in 1918. Question 30. When did the First World War take place? A, B, C, D. Answers is A. The First World War, also known as the Great War, lasted from 28 July 1914 to 11 November 1918. Question 31. Who was the Prime Minister of the during most of the Second World War? A. Churchill, B. Chamberlain, C. Clement, D. Herald. Answers is A. Churchill. Churchill led the country through much of the Second World War, from May 1940 to July 1945. Question 32. When did the Second World War take place? A, B, C, D. Answers is A. The Second World War began in Europe on 1 September 1939 with Germany's invasion of Poland, and ended on to September 1945 with the formal surrender of Japan. Question 33. What was the D-Day landing a pivotal moment in? A. Allied invasion of Normandy, B. Battle of Britain, C. Evacuation of Dunkirk, D. Battle of El. Answers is A. Allied invasion of Normandy. D-Day, 6 June 1944, was the day on which Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, beginning the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi Germany. Question 34. What significant public service was established in the IN 1948? A. The National Health Service, B. The Police Force, D. The National Trust. Answers is A. The National Health Service. The National Health Service was launched in 1948 to provide free healthcare to all citizens, funded by general taxation. Question 35. Which major international organization did the help to found after? A. The United Nations, B. The League of Nations, C. The European Union, D. NATO. Answers is A. The United Nations. They played a significant role in drafting the Charter of the United Nations in 1945, an intergovernmental organization established to promote international cooperation. Question 36. What term describes the arrival of people from the Commonwealth to the after? A. Immigration, B. The generation, C. The Great Migration, D. European resettlement. Answers is A. Immigration. From the late onwards, people from Commonwealth, particularly the Caribbean, responded to calls to help rebuild Britain, a period often associated with the generation. Question 37. Who is the current head of state in the A. The monarch, B. The Prime Minister, C. The Speaker of the House, D. The Archbishop of Canterbury? Answers is A. The monarch. There is a constitutional monarchy, meaning the monarch is the head of state, while the Prime Minister is the head of government. Question 38. What is the official title of the monarch as head of the Church of England? A. Defender of the Faith, B. Supreme Protector, C. Royal Governor, D. Head of Anglicans. Answers is A. Defender of the Faith. The monarch holds the title Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England. The title Defender of the Faith was originally granted by the Pope to Henry. Question 39. What is the role of the monarch in Parliament? A. Giving royal assent to bills, B. Debating laws, C. Voting on legislation, D. Appointing the Prime Minister directly. Answers is A. Giving royal assent to bills. The monarch's role in Parliament is largely ceremonial, primarily giving royal assent to bills passed by both houses, formally making them law. Question 40. Who is the head of government in the A. The Prime Minister, B. The monarch, C. The Lord Chancellor, D. The Home Secretary? Answers is A. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the leader of the party with the majority in the House of Commons and is responsible for the day-to-day governance of the country. Question 41. What are the two houses of the Parliament called? A. House of Commons and House of Lords, B. House of and Senate, C. The Assembly and the Council, D. The Green Chamber and the Red Chamber? Answers is A. House of Commons and House of Lords. The Parliament consists of two chambers, the elected House of Commons and the appointed House of Lords. Question 42. How often are general elections typically held in the A. Every 5 years, B. Every 4 years, C. Every 6 years, D. Every 3 years? Answers is A. Every 5 years. Under the Act 2011, general elections were held every 5 years. The Dissolution and Calling of Parliament Act 2022, the earlier position under which the monarch formally dissolves Parliament at the request of the Prime Minister. Question 43. What is the minimum voting age for general elections in the A. 18, B. 16, C. 21, D. 20? Answers is A, 18. To vote in a general election in the, you must be aged 18 or over on polling day. Question 44. What is the name of the legislative body in Scotland? A. Scottish Parliament, B. Scottish Assembly, C. Scottish Congress, D. Scottish Parliament House. Answers is A. Scottish Parliament. The Scottish Parliament is the devolved national legislature of Scotland, in Holyrood, Edinburgh. Question 45. What is the name of the legislative body in Wales? A. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament, B. Welsh Assembly, C. Welsh Congress, D. Welsh House of Commons. Answers is A. Senedd Cymru Welsh Parliament. The Senedd Cymru, also known as the Welsh Parliament, is the devolved legislature of Wales. Question 46. What is the name of the legislative body in Northern Ireland? A. Northern Ireland Assembly, B. Parliament, C. Ulster Assembly, D. Northern Ireland Council. Answers is A. Northern Ireland Assembly. The Northern Ireland Assembly is the devolved legislature of Northern Ireland at Parliament Buildings, Belfast. Question 47. Which major political party is generally considered the main opposition party in the A. The Labour Party, B. The Liberal Democrats, C. The Scottish National Party, D. The Green Party. Answers is A. The Labour Party. The Labour Party is typically the second largest party in the House of Commons and forms Her Majesty's official opposition. Question 48. What is the name of the system used in general elections to elect? A. First past the post, B. Proportional representation, C. Alternative vote, D. System. Answers is A. First past the post. The first past the post system means that the candidate who wins the most votes in each constituency is elected, even if they don't have an overall majority. Question 49. What is a key responsibility of local councils in the A. Collecting rubbish, B. Managing national defence, C. Issuing passports, D. Setting national tax rates? Answers is A. Collecting rubbish. Local councils are responsible for providing a range of services including education, housing, waste collection, and road maintenance. Question 50. Which city is the capital of England? A. London, B. Manchester, C. D. Liverpool. Answers is A. London. London has been the capital of England and the United Kingdom for serving as a major global city for finance, culture, and politics. Question 51. Which city is the capital of Scotland? A. Edinburgh, B. Glasgow, C. Aberdeen, D. Dundee. Answers is A. Edinburgh. Edinburgh is Scotland's capital city, famous for its historic castle, annual festivals, and as the seat of the Scottish Parliament. Question 52. Which city is the capital of Wales? A. Cardiff, B. Swansea, C. Newport, D. Answers is A. Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital and largest city of Wales. It is the country's chief commercial centre, the base for the Senedd, and a major tourist destination. Question 53. Which city is the capital of Northern Ireland? A. Belfast, B. Londonderry, C. Derry, D. Answers is A. Belfast. Belfast is the capital and largest city of Northern Ireland, a hub for industry, commerce and the arts. Question 54. What is the longest river in the A. River Severn, B. River Thames, C. River Clyde, D. River Trent? Answers is A. River Severn. The River Severn is the longest river in Great Britain, flowing approximately 354 kilometres, 220 miles from in Wales to the Bristol Channel. Question 55. What is the highest mountain in Wales? A. Mount Snowdon, B. Ben Nevis, C. Pike, D. Mount. Answers is A. Mount Snowdon. Mount Snowdon, known in Welsh as, is the highest mountain in Wales, in National Park. Question 56. What is the highest mountain in Scotland and the A. Ben Nevis, B. Mount Snowdon, C. Pike, D. Answers is A. Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis is the highest mountain in Scotland and the entire United Kingdom, in the Grampian. Question 57. What is the largest lake in England? A. Windermere, B. Loch Ness, C. Lake, D. Lake. Answers is A. Windermere. Windermere is the largest natural lake in England, in the Lake District National Park. Question 58. Which major canal connects the Irish Sea and the North Sea passing through Scotland? A. Caledonian Canal, B. Forth and Clyde Canal, C. Manchester Ship Canal, D. Grand Union Canal. Answers is A. Caledonian Canal. The Caledonian Canal is a canal in northern Scotland that connects the Scottish east coast at Inverness with the west coast at near Fort William. Question 59. What is the name of the famous chalk cliffs on the south coast of England? A. White Cliffs of Dover, B. Seven Sisters, C. Jurassic Coast, D. Giant's Causeway. Answers is A. White Cliffs of Dover. The White Cliffs of Dover are iconic chalk cliffs that form the coastline of England, facing the Strait of Dover and France. Question 60. What is the name of the iconic clock tower at the Houses of Parliament? A. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower, B. Westminster Chimes, C. London Clock Tower, D. Parliament Clock. Answers is A. Big Ben Elizabeth Tower. While Big Ben technically refers to the Great Bell within, it is commonly used to refer to the Elizabeth Tower itself, which houses the clock. Question 61. Which sport is considered England's national summer sport? A. Cricket, B. Football, C. Rugby, D. Tennis. Answers is A. Cricket. Cricket is a game played between two teams, traditionally known as England's national summer sport. Question 62. Which sport in England and is known as the beautiful game? A. Football, soccer, B. Rugby, C. Cricket, D. Tennis. Answers is A. Football, soccer. Modern football soccer in England in the century and is the most popular spectator sport in the. Question 63. What is the name of the annual boat race between Oxford and Cambridge? A. The boat race, B. The varsity regatta, C. The university challenge, D. The Thames race. Answers is A. The boat race. The boat race is an annual rowing race between the Oxford University Boat Club and the Cambridge University Boat Club, rowed on the River Thames in London. Question 64. Which major tennis tournament is held annually in London? A. Wimbledon Championships, B. French Open, C. US Open, D. Australian Open. Answers is A. Wimbledon Championships. The Wimbledon Championships is the oldest tennis tournament in the world and is widely regarded as the most prestigious. It has been held at the All England Club in Wimbledon, London, since 1877. Question 65. Which British playwright is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language? A. William Shakespeare, B. Charles Dickens, C. Jane D. Answers is A. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, often called England's national poet, wrote approximately 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems. Question 66. Who wrote Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility? A. Jane, B. Charlotte, C. Mary Shelley, D. George. Answers is A. Jane. Jane was an English novelist whose works of romantic fiction, set among the landed gentry, earned her A place as one of the most widely read writers in English literature. Question 67. Which famous author characters like Oliver Twist and Scrooge? A. Charles Dickens, B. Lewis, C. Arthur, D. Robert Louis. Answers is A. Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was a prolific Victorian novelist, whose works often depicted social injustice and hardship in England. Question 68. Who wrote the Sherlock Holmes detective stories? A. Sir Arthur, B. Christie, C. L. Sayers, D. P. D. James. Answers is A. Sir Arthur. Sir Arthur was a Scottish writer, most noted for his fictional stories about the detective Sherlock Holmes, which are generally considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. Question 69. Which British band famously recorded Hey and Yesterday? A. The Beatles, B. The Rolling Stones, C. Queen, D. Led Zeppelin. Answers is A. The Beatles. The Beatles were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960. They are widely regarded as the most influential band of all time. Question 70. Which British rock band is known for hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions? A. Queen, B. The Rolling Stones, C. Led Zeppelin, D. Pink. Answers is A. Queen. Queen were a British rock band formed in London in 1970. Their classic was Freddie Mercury, May, John Deacon, and Roger Taylor. Question 71. When is George's Day celebrated in England? A. 23 April, B. 17 March, C. 1 March, D. 30 November. Answers is A. 23 April. George's Day is the feast day of St. George, England's patron saint, and is celebrated on 23 April. Question 72. When is David's Day celebrated in Wales? A. 1 March, B. 23 April, C. 17 March, D. 30 November. Answers is A. 1 March. David's Day is the feast day of St. David, the patron saint of Wales, and is celebrated on 1 March. Question 73. When is Day celebrated in Northern Ireland? A. 17 March, B. 1 March, C. 23 April, D. 30 November. Answers is A. 17 March. Day is a cultural and religious holiday celebrated annually on 17 March, the traditional death date of Saint, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. Question 74. When is Andrew's Day celebrated in Scotland? A. 30 November, B. 1 March, C. 17 March, D. 23 April. Answers is A. 30 November. Andrew's Day is the feast day of St. Andrew, the patron saint of Scotland, and is celebrated on 30 November. Question 75. What is the traditional meal for Christmas Day in the A. Roast turkey or goose, B. Fish and chips, C. Shepherd's pie, D. Curry? Answers is A. Roast turkey or goose. A traditional British Christmas dinner usually includes roast turkey or goose, roast potatoes, gravy, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and vegetables. Question 76. Which festival is celebrated on 5 November with bonfires and fireworks? A. Guy Night, B. Halloween, C. New Year's Eve, D. Summer solstice. Answers is A. Guy Night. Guy Night, also known as Bonfire Night, commemorates the failure of the gunpowder plot in 1605, a conspiracy to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Question 77. What is the name of the British national anthem? A. God Save the King, B. Rule Britannia, C. Land of Hope and Glory, D. Jerusalem. Answers is A. God Save the King. God Save the King, or God Save the Queen when a female monarch reigns, is the national anthem of the United Kingdom. Question 78. Which flower is the national emblem of England? A. Rose, B. Thistle, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is A. Rose. The Tudor rose, a combination of the red rose of Lancaster and the white rose of York, is the national floral emblem of England. Question 79. Which plant is the national emblem of Scotland? A. Thistle, B. Rose, C. Daffodil, D. Shamrock. Answers is A. Thistle. The thistle has been an important national symbol of Scotland for appearing in coats of arms and badges. Question 80. Which plant is the national emblem of Wales? A. Daffodil, B. Thistle, C. Rose, D. Shamrock. Answers is A. Daffodil. The daffodil is the national flower of Wales, often worn on David's Day alongside the leek. Question 81. Which plant is the national emblem of Northern Ireland? A. Shamrock, B. Thistle, C. Rose, D. Daffodil. Answers is A. Shamrock. The shamrock, a clover, is a traditional symbol of Ireland and Northern Ireland, often associated with. Question 82. What is the purpose of paying taxes in the A. To fund public services, B. To pay royal stipends, C. To fund political parties, D. To reduce national debt only? Answers is A. To fund public services. Taxes such as income tax, VAT, and national insurance fund essential public services like the education and social welfare. Question 83. What is the primary role of the police in the A. Maintaining law and order, B. Enforcing border controls, C. Collecting taxes, D. Running prisons? Answers is A. Maintaining law and order. The police force is responsible for preventing crime, detecting crime, and maintaining public order and safety across the. Question 84. What is jury service in the A. A civic duty to decide court cases, B. Volunteering for legal aid, C. Working for the police force, D. Providing legal advice? Answers is A. A civic duty to decide court cases. Jury service is a legal obligation for eligible citizens to sit on a jury and make decisions in criminal or civil trials. Question 85. What must you do if you are called for jury service? A. Attend court as instructed, B. Decline the invitation, C. Send a friend in your place, D. Complete an online questionnaire? Answers is A. Attend court as instructed. If you are eligible and summoned for jury service, you have a legal duty to attend court unless you have a valid reason for exemption or deferral. Question 86. What is a citizen's obligation regarding the law? A. To obey the law, B. To agree with all laws, C. To vote on all new laws, D. To change laws you dislike? Answers is A. To obey the law. A fundamental obligation of citizenship is to obey the law and respect the legal system of the country. Question 87. What is one of the key of parents in the A. To ensure their children are educated, B. To teach children to drive, C. To provide all their children's clothes, D. To fund their children's university fees? Answers is A. To ensure their children are educated. Have a legal responsibility to ensure their children receive a suitable education, either by attending school or through home education. Question 88. Which document lists the fundamental rights and freedoms of individuals in the A. Human Rights Act, B. Bill of Rights, C. Magna, D. Act of Settlement? Answers is A. Human Rights Act. The Human Rights Act 1998 incorporates the rights set out in the European Convention on Human Rights into law. Question 89. What are the core values underlying British society? A. Democracy, rule of law, individual liberty, respect, tolerance, B. Hierarchy, tradition, obedience, C. Individualism, wealth, competition, D. Central control, conformity, security? Answers is A. Democracy, rule of law, individual liberty, respect, tolerance. The life in the test emphasizes core values such as democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, and mutual respect and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. Question 90. What is meant by the rule of law in the A. Everyone, including the government, is subject to the law. B. Only judges make laws. C. The king is above the law. D. Parliament can ignore laws. Answers is A. Everyone, including the government, is subject to the law. The rule of law means that all citizens, including those in power, are subject to and accountable under the law, and that laws are applied equally and fairly. Question 91. What is the official name of the flag of the United Kingdom? A. Union flag or Union Jack. B. British flag. C. Royal Standard. D. National Ensign. Answers is A. Union flag or Union Jack. The national flag of the United Kingdom is the Union flag, often called the Union Jack. It is a combination of the flags of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Question 92. What colours are on the Union flag? A. Red, white and blue. B. Red and white. C. Blue and white. D. Red, blue and green. Answers is A. Red, white and blue. The Union flag consists of the Red Cross of George, England, edged in white, superimposed on the Cross, Northern Ireland, which are both superimposed on the Saltire of Andrew, Scotland. Question 93. What is the national animal of England appearing on various emblems? A. Lion. B. Unicorn. C. Dragon. D. Bulldog. Answers is A. Lion. The lion has been a national animal of England since the century, often depicted on the royal arms. Question 94. What is the national animal of Scotland? A. Mythical creature. A. Unicorn. B. Lion. C. Dragon. D. Eagle. Answers is A. Unicorn. The unicorn was first used as a royal symbol by William I, and was officially adopted as Scotland's national animal in the century. Question 95. What is the national symbol of Wales, often seen on the Welsh flag? A. Red dragon. B. Lion. C. Unicorn. D. Thistle. Answers is A. Red dragon. The red dragon Y is the national symbol of Wales and appears on the Welsh flag. Question 96. What important festival celebrates creativity and arts in Edinburgh every August? A. Edinburgh Fringe Festival. B. Glastonbury Festival. C. Hill Carnival. D. Reading Festival. Answers is A. Edinburgh Fringe Festival. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the world's largest arts festival, taking place annually in Edinburgh, Scotland, over 3 weeks in August. Question 97. Which famous British scientist developed the theory of evolution? A. Charles. B. Isaac Newton. C. Stephen Hawking. D. Michael Faraday. Answers is A. Charles. Charles' book on the origin of species, 1859, introduced the concept of natural selection and evolutionary theory. Question 98. Which Scottish inventor developed the first practical telephone? A. Alexander Graham Bell. B. John. C. James Watt. D. Robert. Answers is A. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell, a inventor, scientist and engineer, is credited with inventing the first practical telephone. Question 99. Who is famous for discovering penicillin, the first antibiotic? A. Alexander Fleming, B. Joseph Lister, C. Edward D. Louis. Answers is A. Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming, a Scottish physician and microbiologist, discovered penicillin in 1928, revolutionizing medicine. Question 100. Which British scientist the laws of motion and universal gravitation? A. Isaac Newton, B. Stephen Hawking, C. Charles D. Ernest Rutherford. Answers is A. Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, alchemist, theologian, and author, recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time. Question 101. What is the name of the British institution responsible for broadcasting public service radio and television? A. British Broadcasting Corporation, B. C. Channel 4, D. Sky. Answers is A. British Broadcasting Corporation. There is a public service broadcaster, established in 1922, funded by a license fee, providing television, radio, and online services throughout the and internationally. Question 102. What is the general name for the large country houses and estates that are often open to the public? A. Stately homes, B. Royal palaces, C. Manor houses, D. Castles. Answers is A. Stately homes. Stately homes are a prominent feature of the British landscape and cultural heritage, often maintained by organisations like the National Trust or English Heritage. Question 103. What is the traditional name for the public houses that serve alcoholic drinks and food? A. Pubs, B. Bars, C. D. Inns. Answers is A. Pubs. Pubs, public houses, are an important part of British culture and social life, serving as gathering places for. Question 104. What is the name of the popular fish dish often served with chips? A. Fish and chips, B. Shepherd's pie, C. Roast dinner, D. And mash. Answers is A. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is a classic British takeaway dish, consisting of battered fish and chipped potatoes. Question 105. What traditional British meal often consists of roasted meat, potatoes, and Yorkshire pudding? A. Sunday roast, B. Full English breakfast, C. Ploughman's lunch, D. Cream tea. Answers is A. Sunday roast. The Sunday roast is a traditional British main meal that is typically served on Sunday, consisting of roasted meat, roast potatoes, and accompaniments such as Yorkshire pudding, stuffing, and gravy. Question 106. What is the traditional afternoon beverage often accompanied by scones with jam and cream? A. Afternoon tea, cream tea, B. High tea, C. Elevenses, D. Supper. Answers is A. Afternoon tea, cream tea. Afternoon tea, or cream tea specifically with scones, jam and cream, is a quintessential British tradition. Question 107. What is the name of the traditional Scottish dish made from sheep's offal, oatmeal and spices? A. Haggis, B. Neeps, and C. Black pudding, D. Scotch pie. Answers is A. Haggis. Haggis is a savory pudding containing sheep's pluck heart, liver and lungs, minced with onion, oatmeal, suet, spices and salt, traditionally in the animal's stomach. Question 108. What is the legal name for a married couple who want to end their marriage? A. Divorce. B. Separation. C. Annulment. D. Dissolution. Answers is A. Divorce. Divorce is the legal process by which a marriage is, and a divorce petition must be submitted to the court. Question 109. Which organization provides free legal advice to those who cannot afford it? A. Advice. B. Law Society. C. Bar Council. D. Legal Aid Agency. Answers is A. Advice. Advice is a network of independent throughout that provides free, confidential information and advice to help people with legal, money, and other problems. Question 110. What is the name of the organization that regulates solicitors in England and Wales? A. Regulation Authority. B. Law Society. C. Bar Council. D. Legal Ombudsman. Answers is A. Regulation Authority. There is the independent regulatory body for solicitors and law firms in England and Wales. The Law Society represents solicitors. Question 111. What is the role of a barrister in the legal system? A. To represent clients in court. B. To draw up legal documents. C. To advise on property law. D. To manage legal firms. Answers is A. To represent clients in court. Are specialist legal advisors and court advocates. They are trained to represent clients in court and provide expert legal opinions. Question 112. What type of court deals with serious criminal cases in England, Wales and Northern Ireland? A. Crown Court. B. Court. C. County Court. D. High Court. Answers is A. Crown Court. The Crown Court hears serious criminal cases with a judge and a jury, and also hears appeals from courts. Question 113. What type of court deals with less serious criminal cases and some civil cases in England and Wales? A. Court. B. Crown Court. C. High Court. D. Court of Appeal. Answers is A. Court. Courts handle approximately of criminal cases, including minor offences like traffic violations and minor assaults. Question 114. What is the highest court of appeal in the A. The Supreme Court. B. The House of Lords. C. The High Court. D. The Court of Appeal. Answers is A. The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal in the for all civil cases, and for criminal cases from England, Wales and Northern Ireland. Question 115. What is the maximum term for a Member of Parliament before a general election is called? A. 5 years. B. 4 years. C. 6 years. D. 7 years. Answers is A. 5 years. General elections are normally held every 5 years, meaning the maximum term for an is 5 years. Question 116. Who is responsible for the overall financial management of the government? A. The Chancellor of the Exchequer. B. The Prime Minister. C. The Governor of the Bank of England. D. The Lord Chief Justice. Answers is A, the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The Chancellor of the Exchequer is the senior minister in the Treasury, responsible for all economic and financial matters. Question 117. What is the purpose of the budget announced by the Chancellor of the Exchequer? A. To set out government spending and taxation plans. B. To announce new laws. C. To declare war or peace. D. To present the monarch's annual accounts. Answers is A. To set out government spending and taxation plans. The budget is an annual statement by the Chancellor of the Exchequer to the House of Commons, detailing the government's plans for taxation and public spending. Question 118. What is the name given to the advisory group of senior ministers appointed by the Prime Minister? A. The Cabinet. B. The Privy Council. C. The Shadow Cabinet. D. The Parliamentarians. Answers is A. The Cabinet. The Cabinet is the ultimate decision-making body of His Majesty's government, consisting of the Prime Minister and about 20 senior government ministers. Question 119. Who holds debates and scrutinises proposed laws in the Parliament? A. Members of Parliament. B. Local councillors. C. Judges. D. Civil servants. Answers is A. Members of Parliament. Elected to the House of Commons, debate issues, scrutinise government policy, and vote on legislation on behalf of their constituents. Question 120. What is the role of the Speaker in the House of Commons? A. To preside over debates and maintain order. B. To lead the government. C. To represent the monarch. D. To veto laws. Answers is A. To preside over debates and maintain order. The Speaker is an impartial figure who controls proceedings in the House of Commons, ensuring rules are followed and allowing all members a fair chance to speak. Question 121. What is the term for a proposal for a new law? A bill. B. An act. C. A motion. D. A decree. Answers is A bill. A bill is a proposed new law, or a proposal to change an existing law. It must pass through both Houses of Parliament and receive royal assent to become an Act of Parliament. Question 122. What is the purpose of the Privy Council? A. To advise the monarch on state matters. B. To oversee judicial appointments. C. To draft new legislation. D. To manage royal finances. Answers is A. To advise the monarch on state matters. The Privy Council is a formal body of advisers to the Sovereign of the United Kingdom. Its members are mostly senior politicians who can advise the monarch. Question 123. Which major river flows through London? A. River Thames. B. River Severn. C. River Mersey. D. River Trent. Answers is A. River Thames. The River Thames is the second longest river in the United Kingdom and the longest river wholly in England. It flows through London. Question 124. What is the name of the famous ancient stone circle monument in Wiltshire, England? A. Stonehenge. B. Avebury. C. D. Roman Baths. Answers is A. Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a prehistoric monument on Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England. consisting of a ring of standing stones set within earthworks. Question 125. Which famous Roman baths are in the city of Bath, England? A. Roman baths, B. Baths, C. Hadrian's baths, D. Viking baths. Answers is A. Roman baths. The Roman baths in the city of Bath are a Roman site of public bathing. The city itself is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Question 126. What is the name of the highest point in England? A. Pike, B. Ben Nevis, C. Mount Snowdon, D. Answers is A. Pike. Pike, standing at 978 meters 209 feet above sea level, is the highest mountain in England. Question 127. Which region of England is known for its beautiful lakes and mountains? A. The Lake District, B. The Cotswolds, C. The Peak District, D. Answers is A. The Lake District. The Lake District National Park in Cumbria is a popular holiday destination famous for its glacial ribbon lakes, rugged fells, and historic literary associations. Question 128. What is the name of the famous Scottish loch rumoured to contain a monster? A. Loch Ness, B. Loch, C. Loch or D. Loch Tay. Answers is A. Loch Ness. Loch Ness, a large loch in the Scottish Highlands, is best known for alleged sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, affectionately known as. Question 129. Which British institution holds a vast collection of world art and artefacts, including the Rosetta Stone? A. The British Museum, B. The National Gallery, C. The Tate Modern, D. The Victoria and Albert Museum. Answers is A. The British Museum. The British Museum in London houses a permanent collection of around 8 million works and is among the largest and most comprehensive in existence. Question 130. What is the name of the official residence and principal workplace of the monarch? A. Palace, B. Windsor Castle, C. Balmoral Castle, D. Kensington Palace. Answers is A. Palace. Palace is the London residence and administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. Question 131. What is the name of the London landmark that is a historic fortress and houses the Crown? A. Tower of London, B. Westminster Abbey, C. Cathedral, D. Hampton Court Palace. Answers is A. Tower of London. The Tower of London is a historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames in central London, founded towards the end of 1066. It is famous for its role as a prison and for housing the Crown. Question 132. What is the traditional name for the day after Christmas Day? A. Boxing Day, B. Stephen's Day, C. Christmas Eve, D. Twelfth Night. Answers is A. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, 26 December, is a public holiday in the. Historically, it was a day when servants and tradespeople received gifts' Christmas boxes. Question 133. What is the name of the annual military parade to mark the monarch's official birthday? A. Trooping the Colour, B. The King's Parade, C. Royal Guard Ceremony, D. Changing of the Guard. Answers is A. Trooping the colour. Trooping the colour is a ceremony performed by regiments of the British Army. It has been a tradition of British infantry regiments since the century, though the roots go back much earlier. Question 134. What is the main purpose of the Commonwealth? A. To promote international cooperation and common values. B. To manage global trade. C. To provide military defence. D. To govern former. Answers is A. To promote international cooperation and common values. The Commonwealth is a political association of 56 member states, nearly all of which are former of the British Empire. It works to promote democracy, human rights, and good governance. Question 135. What is the name of the famous Scottish poet who wrote Old Sign? A. Robert Burns. B. Walter Scott. C. Robert Louis. D. Lord. Answers is A. Robert Burns. Robert Burns is widely regarded as the national poet of Scotland and is celebrated worldwide. Old Sign is traditionally sung at Hogmanay New Year's Eve. Question 136. What is the traditional Scottish celebration of New Year's Eve? A. Hogmanay. B. Beltane. C. Samhain. D. Burns Night. Answers is A. Hogmanay. Hogmanay is the Scottish celebration of New Year's Eve, often involving traditions like first footing. Question 137. Which famous British children's author wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? A. Doll. B. Beatrix Potter. C. J.K. D. A. Answers is A. Doll. Doll was a British novelist, short story writer, poet and screenwriter. His books have sold over 250 million worldwide. Question 138. Who wrote the Harry Potter series of books? A. J.K. B. C.S. Lewis. C. Philip Pullman. D. Enid. Answers is A. J.K. J.K. is a British author, best known for writing the Harry Potter fantasy series, which has sold more than 500 million worldwide. Question 139. Which British physicist and cosmologist was famous for his work on black holes? A. Stephen Hawking. B. Isaac Newton. C. Albert Einstein. D. Answers is A. Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was a theoretical physicist and cosmologist, known for his scientific works like A Brief History of Time. Question 140. What is the name of the national flag of Wales? A. Why the Red Dragon. B. David's Cross. C. Prince of Wales Feather. D. The Welsh Standard. Answers is A. Why the Red Dragon. The national flag of Wales is Y, featuring a red dragon on a green and white field. Question 141. What is the name of the patron saint of England? A. St. George. B. St. Andrew. C. St. David. D. Saint. Answers is A. St. George. St. George is the patron saint of England, whose feast day is celebrated on 23 April. Question 142. What is the name of the patron saint of Scotland? A. St. Andrew. B. St. George. C. St. David. D. Saint. Answers is A. St. Andrew. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, whose feast day is celebrated on 30 November. Question 143. What is the name of the patron saint of Wales? A. St. David, B. St. Andrew, C. St. George, D. St. Answers is A. St. David. St. David is the patron saint of Wales, whose feast day is celebrated on 1 March. Question 144. What is the name of the patron saint of Northern Ireland? A. St. B. St. Andrew, C. St. George, D. St. David. Answers is A. Saint. Saint is the foremost patron saint of Ireland, and his feast day is celebrated on 17 March in Northern Ireland and globally. Question 145. What is the purpose of a Remembrance Day poppy? A. To commemorate fallen soldiers. B. To celebrate victory in war. C. To honor the monarch. D. To mark a national holiday. Answers is A. To commemorate fallen soldiers. The poppy is worn on and around Remembrance Day 11 November to commemorate military personnel who died in war. Question 146. What is the traditional name for the period of fasting before Easter for Christians? A. Lent, B. Advent, C. Epiphany, D. Pentecost. Answers is A. Lent. Lent is a solemn religious observance in the Christian liturgical calendar, commemorating the 40 days Jesus Christ spent fasting in the desert. Question 147. What is the traditional name for the evening before Shrove Tuesday? A. Pancake Day, B. Mardi Gras, C. Fat Tuesday, D. Ash Wednesday. Answers is A. Pancake Day. Shrove Tuesday, often called Pancake Day is the day before Ash Wednesday, traditionally a time for eating pancakes to use up rich foods before the fasting of Lent. Question 148. Which major sporting event involves athletes competing in various disciplines every 4 years? A. The Olympic Games, B. The Commonwealth Games, C. The World Cup, D. The European Championships. Answers is A. The Olympic Games. The Olympic Games are leading international events held every 4 years in summer and winter variations. Question 149. What is the name of the British prize awarded annually for the best novel? A. Booker Prize, B. Prize, C. Nobel Prize in Literature, D. Costa Book Awards. Answers is A. Booker Prize. The Booker Prize, formerly known as the Man Booker Prize, is a literary award presented annually for the best novel published in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Question 150. What is a key benefit of volunteering in the A. Contributing to the community, B. Guaranteed employment, C. Financial rewards, D. Automatic citizenship? Answers is A. Contributing to the community. Volunteering is a valuable way to contribute to society, support local causes, and help build a stronger community without financial compensation.